Oracle has a great free tool where you can run SQL code and also use a bunch of other handy features. I'm talking about a tool called Oracle LiveSQL, and in this video you'll learn how to access it, use it, and see a range of features. You can access Oracle LiveSQL by going to livesql.oracle.com. You'll see a page that looks like this. The page encourages you to search for tutorials or start coding. We'll look at the tutorials later in this video, so for now click on Start Coding. You'll be asked to log in. If you have an Oracle account, you can log in here. You'll also be able to create one if you don't have one. It's a free account and easy to create. I'll click Create Account. You'll be taken to the Create Account screen. Enter all of the mandatory fields here. There are far too many mandatory fields here for the simple feature of creating an account, but we need to fill them in, so do that and click Create Account. Once you have your account created, you can log in on this screen. Once you log in, you can click Start Coding again, and you'll see the main LiveSQL screen. This is the main part of LiveSQL. The top half of the screen shows an SQL editor, which we'll come back to shortly. The bottom half shows the output of the SQL that we will run. On the top left is a hamburger menu. If we click this, we can see a sidebar menu with a range of items such as My Session, Schema, and Quick SQL. We'll look into those later in this video. Let's write some SQL. We can write some SQL into this area here. We'll start with a create table statement, and this will create a table called customer. To run the statement, we can click the green Run button in the top right, or press Command Enter on a Mac or Control Enter on Windows. After a moment, we'll see the table created message on the output panel, which is the bottom half of the screen. Let's insert some data into this table. We'll write an insert statement here. If we click Run, then only the first statement is run. We'll have to highlight this insert statement first, then click Run to run just that statement. We can see the output panel says one row was inserted. Let's select from this table. We can write a simple select statement here too. We can highlight this statement and run it and see the results. We can see a neatly formatted output of the select statement here. If you click the Download CSV button, you can download the results of this query shown here to a CSV file. On the toolbar on the top right, next to the Run button, are a few other buttons. The Save button will save your session within your Oracle LiveSQL account. We can click that now, and the Save Session window appears. At the top, it explains what's being saved. Enter a name for the session you are saving. You can select the visibility, which is either private, publicly shareable, or published, and each of them have a definition here. We'll leave this as private for now. Enter a description for your session. You can use the area field to group your sessions, which is helpful if you have a lot of scripts and sessions and want to organize them. You can do a similar thing with tags. The difference is that areas is a defined list, and tags you can enter whatever you like. Click Save Session as Script and then it's saved. You'll have to wait a few seconds, but then you'll see this summary page. We'll cover this page in more detail later in the video. Speaking of sessions, let's click on the My Sessions item on the left sidebar. You can see some information about your current session, including the history of queries you have run and their results. You can sort the statements by most recent first or last. You can also show statements only, statements and results, results only or errors only. You can click the triangle Run button here if you want to rerun any of the queries, which is handy. On the top right of this screen is an Actions button. If you click on this, there are a range of, actions you can take. Rerun will let you rerun all of the scripts in this session. There's a message here about what it actually does, a couple of options to select, and you can click the green Rerun Script button when you're ready. I'll click Cancel. If you click on Actions and Replace Script, you can replace a script you have previously saved with one from the current session. You'll be able to select an existing script name to replace, select the visibility, and enter a description, name, and tags just like you're saving a session from earlier in the video. The Actions Delete Statements function will delete all of the statements in your session. The Actions Download button will let you download the scripts from your session as an SQL file. On this pop-up, you can select a few options for the types of statements to download, and then download the file. The Actions Reset Session option will reset your session back to its default. You can choose to reset the database objects, session history, and NLS settings. On the left sidebar, there's an item called Previous Sessions. If you click this, you'll see information about all of your previous sessions, or the times you've accessed Oracle LiveSQL in the past. If you click on View Session, you can see the statements that were run in that session. You can then save that session or copy the scripts to another file. This is a pretty handy feature, I think. On the sidebar, click on Previously Viewed. This page shows you the scripts and tutorials within LiveSQL that you have viewed while logged into your account. You can click on any of the items here to view them again. It's like a built-in browser history. Click on the utilization entry on the sidebar and you can see information about your current session. You can see a range of resource metrics such as session duration and idle time. Finally, click on NLS on the sidebar. You can see all the NLS or National Language Support values for your session. You can't change them on this screen, but you can run an alter session statement to change them from the SQL worksheet. So you've created some database objects. How can you view them? This is where the database schema comes in. Click on the schema entry on the sidebar. On this page, you can see all of the objects, such as tables, that you have created. You can filter these objects based on the schema and sort them by name or date created. If you click on a table, you can see more information about that table. If you click on the Upload Script button on the top right, you can upload an SQL file from your computer and save it as a script on your account. You can choose a file on your computer, give the script a name within your session, select the character set and enter a description. Once you click Upload, the script is saved to your account for you to use. Click on the Actions button, then Drop All Objects and you'll see this pop up. This will let you drop all objects in your schema. In the Actions menu, click on Generate DDL. You'll then see a window that shows the SQL that can be used to generate your database objects. This is handy if you want to save it to another file, or just see what can be run. If you want to create a new object, you can click the Create Database Object button. This pop-up will appear. You can select from a range of object types. If you click on one of the options, you'll see another window to input some values before the object is created. Here is what is shown when I click on Table. Once you enter the data and click Generate SQL, you'll be taken to the SQL worksheet screen with the SQL that was generated shown in the screen and ready to run. The Quick SQL feature allows you to use some formatted text to generate a data model and some SQL. You can enter text in a specific shorthand format, which is well described in the help guide. You can also load a sample to see how it works. On the left, we see the shorthand format of the text. On the right, we see the SQL to create the tables and insert the data. You can check out the help guide for more about using this shorthand text. Click on the My Scripts section on the sidebar and you'll see a list of all of the scripts you have saved in your account. This includes scripts you have saved in previous sessions as well as the current session, and any scripts you have uploaded using the Upload Script feature. The heart icon indicates the number of likes and the number of times the script has been run. On this screen, you can search for scripts, sort by a few different fields, and filter by visibility and area. If you click on a script in the list, you can see more information about it. On this page, you can view and edit attributes of the script, see the SQL code and run it. Oracle LiveSQL lets you create tutorials. A tutorial is a collection of instructional steps and SQL that users can read and run within Oracle LiveSQL. There is a range of tutorials already created and accessible in the code library, but you can also create your own. Click on My Tutorials on the sidebar to see this screen. You can search, sort and filter your tutorials here. If you click Add Tutorial, this pop-up will appear. you can enter the details for a new tutorial to create, including the name, area, overview, and some setup SQL. Click Add Tutorial when you are done. You can see the details of the tutorial you just created. Within a tutorial are modules. You can create modules by clicking the plus button in the Modules section. On the Modules pop-up, enter a name for the module, the display sequence or the order it is displayed, and the module content. The module content can include HTML tags. You can click on the example module content to see an example that can be helpful. Let's see the example and copy it into our module. Click Add Module and it is added to the tutorial. We could add more modules if we want to. To run our tutorial, click on the Run button on the top right. The SQL worksheet is opened, with our tutorial shown on the right. This page will let you run the setup SQL that you had defined, see the text written within each module, and copy any code into the editor for you to run. The final item on the sidebar is the code library. This contains a range of tutorials and scripts that have been shared publicly within Oracle LiveSQL. Your script or tutorial will appear here if you set the visibility to public. On this screen, you can search for tutorials or scripts, filter them, sort them, and change the number of results per page. For each script, you can see the title, the description or overview, whether it's a tutorial or a script, the list of tags, the number of likes, which is the heart icon, the number of times it has been run, which is the play icon, when it was created and who created it. Click on one of the items to open it. This looks similar to the tutorial section from earlier. You can click on Run Tutorial or Run Script to run it. Just like a tutorial you created, it will show the SQL worksheet for you to view the code and run it. That brings us to the end of the tutorial on Oracle LiveSQL. I hope this tutorial has been helpful in explaining what Oracle LiveSQL can do and how to use its major features. If you want to learn more about database design and SQL, visit my website at databasestar.com. If you like this video, consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching.